Welcome to Foundations TV, everybody. Our guest is very special today, the one and only Babul Supriyo. Welcome to
Namaskar.
Foundations TV.
Thank you
Namaskar.
so much. Namaskar.
So happy to have you here in Boston. Welcome to Boston as well.
Pleasure. I've been here before, and every time I come back to Boston, it looks new with the new colors
Yes.
on the trees.
Yes,
So
this
it's
is the good
nice.
time of the year.
Yes,
Yes,
it is a
definitely.
beautiful time of the year.
Yes,
Feels good,
absolutely.
yeah.
First time in the fall here. Have you seen the colors
No,
before?
I've been come. In fact, my first ever show, the first city in which I ever performed in America is Boston, and that was way
great.
back in 1993 when I had toured with
Amitabh
Bachchan
Bachchan,
Saab.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
great.
So the
Wow.
first show was in 1993, and I don't know how 20 years have passed by. The only
Yeah.
sign that I see on the mirror is probably, a little bit of grey.
Oh,
hair
no,
coming
no,
out.
no, no, no.
But
You
that's
don't
salt
look
and
20
pepper. I
years.
take it like
No,
that,
no, you
yeah.
look 20 years younger.
Thank you.
Totally, totally. And I was very impressed with the way, I'd seen your pictures before, and as soon as I saw you, first thing I said, oh my God, he's even better looking than his pictures.
Well, it might sound flattering, but I will take a little time to accept that compliment, and then I'll get back to you.
No, truly. So does this bring back any memories with Bachchanji, coming back to Boston?
Very
Can
much.
you relate some,
Very much.
incident or some memorable incident from
Absolutely. Every time I leave the Logan Airport and the car oozes past the Boston downtown, I can absolutely see the hotel in which we stayed. And I remember, I was I'm a small town guy from the outskirts of Kolkata rather, in India. Worked in Standard Chartered Bank, and I come from a musical family, so I've learned music. My grandfather is N.C. Baral, was a very famous composer there. But then, like a very cliche only son does. I got a job in a bank, and then realized that music was one quality, that something was given to me by the nature, by God, or whatever you say, for free. And I wanted to pursue that, so I had a fight with my entire family, including my dad. Left the job, and I just ran away to Bombay. And the best, when I connect to Boston, coming back to the question, why I'm saying all this is because I came to Bombay in 1992 October, November, and 2 months prior to that, I still remember the name of the cinema hall. It was called Paradise in Esplanade in Kolkata. I had seen a show. It was Bachchan Saab's performance in the Wembley Stadium in London, and it was picturized and released as a movie. It was called Juma Chuma in London. And we had watched that movie. We all went from the bank to watch the movie with my colleagues, and we just saw the magnanimity of a live show, and how a show can be so grand, and how can there be so much of grandeur. And 6 months from that, 1993 March rather, and Kalyanji Anandji, after I got a chance to meet them and sing for them and all of that, they chose me ahead of a lot of other people for that tour. So in 6 months, I was there from Paradise Cinema Hall watching the movie and thinking what it was. Never did I know that in 6 months' time, life would throw such a big surprise to me. So Boston does bring a lot of great memories for me. My first camera clicking n number of pictures of Bachchan Saab performing on stage. I was like really a kiddo, looking at a star in his every right. Yes, standing next to, breathing the same air as Bachchan Saab. It was huge. It was huge. And that euphoria is something that, when you get your first bicycle, that euphoria, you probably might get a Q3 or a Bugatti in your life, but you cannot match that euphoria. So that was what was special.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, this is such a beautiful story. It,
Yes,
it
it
got
is.
me flowing with it too. It's so nice. And there was no stopping from there on. You've been performing live, you've been a playback singer, and you've been everywhere. Old songs, new songs, doing so many other things as well. So that's a fantastic journey, of course.
Well, as they say, life begins at 40. So I've just crossed 40, and I'm on the other side of it, 41. So I think that there's a sentence, a famous quote rather, which says that it's by George Bernard Shaw. It says that youth is wasted in the young. So now that I've gained this 20 years of experience, I'm trying go back to what he said. I still didn't accept the compliment, but still, I try to make myself a little more fitter and more agile, because I think that the experience that I've got in the last 20 years is something that I can really use now and catapult myself to the next orbit instead of just being spoon-fed, going to the studio, singing a song, and then traveling the world, doing shows, making money. I want to do something a little more worthwhile. I'm not saying that singing is what actually gave me this platform mentally and everything else to think in this manner, and therefore I cannot, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that I have the experience now, and from here I can take it a little forward probably. So I hope that life throws in a few more surprises for me.
I'm sure it will. I can feel that you're following your heart, and it's not just about what the need of the market is, but you're doing what you want to do, what you like to do. That's what you're doing
Need
right
of the
now.
market is very important actually. You
It
see,
is, yeah.
it is very important because you don't want to make albums which or do films which don't do commercially well. So they go hand in hand. But I think that it is very important to find a path in life because otherwise it's the same for a singer. You just keep on performing, you keep on singing in different parts of the world, you get paid, and life gets into a cozy area, and then you don't want to move away from that. So I want to bring the euphoria of the struggle back. I want to do a few new things. I'm not saying what they are. If they unfold, if I meet success, then that is something that is definitely going to be on screen. So let's wait and see.
Excellent. Now that's a great message that you just shared. Come out of your comfort zone, and that's where life begins. That's
truly,
great.
yeah.
That's great. So, would you like to share with our audiences other things that you're doing besides singing? I know singing is a huge attraction to all of us in Boston here today, especially tonight for Durga Puja's celebration. But other than that, are you into acting or any other? What are your other passions in life, or
Singing is what brings me here. It's basically if I have any dreams that I want to follow, if there is anything else, anything larger than life for my life that I would want to add into my career, then it is the singing that I've done in the last 20 years which takes me there. So it is definitely, I am a singer first, and everything is an extension of that. Whether I get into acting or into direction or anything, TV hosting, I've done all of that. K4 Kishore, which I hosted, was very popular in America. People loved that show. I feel that probably it is not fair to talk about what I'm trying to do in the next few years.
Right. Okay,
I would just say that
yeah.
today in Boston, I really want to throw the best of Babul Supriyo as a singer on stage today because the organizers have been great. They've been good food and a lot of warmth in the cold Boston weather.
Excellent.
And I do have a few surprises in store.
Oh, wow.
I hope that the surprises are pleasant enough for the audience.
I'm
to
sure.
embrace it.
I'm sure. Thank you so much. We're all very, very excited. We're looking forward to your show a lot.
Thank you so much. I would just tell my audience that right now in Mumbai there is a little bit of a scenario where the regular playback singers, as you may say, the generation which came in after Kumar Sanu, Udit Narayan, Abhijit, that era, myself, KK, Sonu, Shan, we do have a lot of lesser songs than we had maybe 3 years back. There's a new wave of finding new voices, and because singing is not something that is absolutely required to be a famous singer anymore, pun intended actually, because we have great softwares that can help you sound great inside a studio. So the indispensability of a singer has actually reduced. But I will tell my audience that if you have ever loved any of the singers for their live performances, for what they've sung inside the studio, then stick by them because good music never fades away. And I have my non-film album, my single which released from Sony Music India just about a week back. It's called Khushamdeed. So I would request you to go to iTunes and search for Babul Supriyo Khushamdeed, and you're going to get that. It's a nice, easy flowing song. You're going to love it.
Wonderful. And you also have another one, What the Folk, coming out soon?
Yes, it has already released actually.
Okay.
We do sing in a lot of languages, and Bengali being my mother tongue, I do sing a lot of Bengali music. In fact, the song that I sang with Shreya 2 years back actually won the national award. The film got the national award, the song got the national award. It was under Shantanu Maitro. So in Bengal, I had released a album, a dance mix of folk songs, and a little mischievously I named it What the Folk. And it really clicked. It is number one in all the FM stations, and commercially, as I said, which is very important, it is selling like hotcakes.
Good
actually.
time for Durga Puja, right?
Yes,
okay,
it is,
great.
it is,
Wow,
it is.
wonderful. Congratulations for
Thank you
that.
so much.
And all the best for tonight.
Thank you so much.
सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, धीमी सी धड़कन को बढ़ने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है ये पास आ जाए हम तुम हम तुम। आँखों में हमको उतरने दो जरा, बाहों में हमको पिघलने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है ये पास आ जाए हम तुम तुम। सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा।
We don't need a heroine on the way. He's forever. सलवटे कहीं, करवटे कहीं, फैल जाए काजल भी तेरा, नजरों में हो गुजरता हुआ ख्वाबों का कोई काफिला, जिस्मों को रूहों को चलने दो जरा, शबनम की बूंदे फिसलने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है पास आ जाए हम तुम हम तुम। सांसों को सांसों में ढलने दो जरा, धीमी सी धड़कन को बढ़ने दो जरा, लम्हों की गुजारिश है पास आ जाए हम अरे रे मैं तो गया रे, दिल भी गया रे, अरे रे मैं तो गया रे, दिल भी गया रे, अरे रे मैं तो गया रे, दिल भी गया रे, अरे रे मैं तो गया रे, दिल भी गया रे। हे 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 ताली। इनका बरसाए हम बरसाए ऐसा कोई साथी हो ऐसा कोई प्रेमी हो प्यास दिल की बुझा जाए नीले नीले अंबर पर चांद जब आए प्यार बरसाए हमको तरसाए चंदा चमके चम चम चीके जो करना छोड़ चीटी चाटे चीनी चटोरी चीनी को चंदा चमके चम चम चीके जो करना छोड़ चीटी चाटे चीनी चटोरी चीनी को कितना मुश्किल ये गाना जरा गा के दी गाना चंदा चीनी चमके चाटे जो करना चीके जो करना छोड़ चीटी चाटे चीनी चटोरी चीनी को कितना मुश्किल ये गाना जरा गा के दी गाना चंदा चीनी चमके चाटे जो करना चीके जो चंदा चमके चम चम चीके जो करना चीटी चाटे चीनी चटोरी चीनी को ओके 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 कमिंग बजाते रहो सुर बजाते रहो सुर लगा सुर खड़क सिंह के खड़कने से खड़कती है खिड़की वो खड़कने से खड़कता है खड़क सिंह ऐसा ही होता है जब दो दिल मिलते हैं सौरभ दी जय जय शिव शंकर काटा लगे न कंकर ये
Hi, this is Babul Supriyo, and here's wishing Foundations TV all the very best to all of you behind the camera and for the beautiful ladies and men in front of the camera, like the one we have just beside me.
सलवटे कहीं करवटे कहीं फैल जाए काजल